Welcome, Saints Nation, to your Nexus Marvel Rivals Showdown. I am Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by my co-caster, the Gambit. No one else but the Gambit.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's me, the Gambit, from such things as X-Men 97 and other Marvel comics. You may have heard of me. You may have seen me before. So, very excited to be here in this Nexus for this Marvel Rivals event.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, for those who don't know, if you missed the lower third there, that is Evan, not really Evan Johnson. So, congratulations, dude. You made it. You're in the big time now. And this has been anything but a predictable event. We were just sitting here and going through the open lab, watching other teams go through battle. And honestly, I had my expectations coming into this, and they were completely thrown straight to the river.
No, you're absolutely right. I think we were expecting I don't think we were expecting it to be as competitive as it truly was, especially looking at Group 2. Group 2 really was set up as this pool of death. Lots of very, very good teams. Unfortunately, we are going to see some of those good teams go home a little early, probably a little disappointing, but that sets up a very, very exciting semifinals.
Absolutely. Well, looking at our groups now, what I really think the important message to take away from this is you had to be on your A game early. Bottom two teams eliminated at the end of groups in a round-robin format, and you see right there as the results came in, we were right. Group 2 was definitely more of an intense group as we see Team Iron Man and Team Hulk just squeaking through. Team Jeff being eliminated, Team Doctor Strange out as well, and in Group 1, Team Venom. I'd heard a lot of big talks around Team Venom, but sadly they drop out 0-3. That was a big surprise to me. And then Team Spider-Man just not quite making the cut as well. Unfortunate, because there were some club team members from the Rivals club team that were on there, and now we only have 2 remaining.
No, exactly like you said. It was very competitive. I think a lot more competitive than we were expecting, especially when you mix in these club players. Unfortunate Venom and Spider-Man not able to make it out, especially Team Jeff, too. We were watching Team Jeff for a while. They had some really, really solid players, a lot of great comebacks, especially in some of those early rounds. But unfortunately, when you have a group as top-heavy as that Pool 2, it's just so hard to make it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at our bracket as we move on here. Again, semifinals, actually, before we do that, I was going to say, let's talk about what the format, right, was for groups. So it was domination only, and it was very interesting because seeing how the picks and the bans were working out, it started off as people having expectations of having to ban for maps that you would have had to play Convoy on or Convergence on, and that disappeared immediately, right? Round robins, it goes to domination, and all of a sudden your game plan needs to be made very on the fly, and it was very interesting to see how teams sort of picked and banned versus their opponents, because now in playoffs, it's completely different. The format opens back up through to Convoy and Convergence. So, yeah, I do know that we have Team Moon Knight going up against Team Hulk here for the first semifinal, and based on what we've seen out of these two teams, Evan, what do you kind of have going early for predictions that you know about these two teams?
Oh, it's going to be tough. I think both teams are coming in really hot. I mean, Moon Knight especially. 3-0ing, easily winning their group. We were talking to Team Moon Knight. They're feeling very, very confident. They have some good team synergy going right now. The first game, it took them a bit to find their footing, but now they've really sort of locked in and gelled together as a team. They're going to be really, really tough to beat, especially down the stretch if they can get everything cooking. But like you said, on the other side, Team Hulk, some other really, really heavy hitters, and it's going to be a really exciting semifinals match.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking to Team Moon Knight, especially Miguel, one of our good friends who we've known here at the program for a little while, and he was saying that honestly at first they didn't really start hitting their stride immediately despite going 3-0. In fact, first map, it was really the team kind of getting on each other's backs about certain strats that weren't really being done to the best of their ability, and they had to kind of take a step back, recoup, rethink, and kind of mentally reset. And they kind of talked a little bit, and they have a very big rank discrepancy between the entire team, which is why it's actually been a little bit harder for them to gel immediately. But the second they kind of started talking with each other and they kind of mentally reset, they refocused, they went in with a whole new game plan. After that, it was just absolute cookage throughout the entirety of groups.
No, that's a great way to put it. Cookage is exactly what was happening as we take a look at our bracket right now. Hulk and Moon Knight is what we're going to be teeing off first. And then we got Team Groot and Team Iron Man in our second semifinals. Another big semifinals. Team Iron Man have some really heavy hitters on that side.
Yeah, they do, especially one DPS in particular, someone who Saints fans would know and love. I know he's not in the matchup right now, but the Holy Juan, Theo, right? We saw him playing some Psylocke and Punisher. Psylocke didn't really go too well, but the second the Punisher came out, it was just immediate. No one was taking him down. I believe he went like, what, I want to say 27 and 3 or so, just from what we were watching. Yeah, so on Ixgard's path. So again, I think that Theo, he's definitely the catalyst for that team. He's the one to get the jump on to the tempo, but after that, everyone just slides through as well. I also know about Daniil, who's on that team as well. So shout out to a couple of the broadcast members who are repping Team Iron Man, and hopefully they have a long run.
Repping Saints broadcasts in the Nexus Showdown. You love to see it. We got a quick look at both Team Moon Knight and Team Hulk there as they're getting set. They're getting ready to start. It's going to be a best of 3. They started out in a best of 1, and now we're moving on to a best of 3 setup. So both teams will have ample opportunities to get something going on as we are going to meet the members of Team Moon Knight. We got from left to right, Jeff Freak, Spooky SP, Haze, Spectrum, Frost, and HenzoCat. Very good lineup here. This is not representative of what everybody is going to be playing. I know Haze, Miguel is probably going to be sticking
support,
on that DPS or support, but Spooky is their main one to watch out for, that one above all on Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so I believe Spooky is actually Celestial. I believe the one above all might be on Team Hulk, actually, is what I heard. I know we were fed rumors that it was on the Moon Knight side, but looking through what we saw of Team Moon Knight, Spooky was definitely, I believe, on the Doctor Strange, and it was just an absolute slaughter. I mean, I have Agamotto's coming out. He would constantly be hitting 4 or 5 people at a time, especially because when you take in the fact that it's domination, if you leave that Strange on the board, that ult means so much because everyone's got to be on that point. If you're contesting, there's not a lot of room, and if you don't have a CC in time, it's pretty much done and dusted.
Yeah, it's almost a free team fight win if you can set it up properly. He's absolutely going to be the one that Team Hulk is going to have to deal with, whether you deal with him in the ban phase or you just plan around him, playing like a Wolverine or somebody with flying abilities to get around him. That is going to be huge for them. Team Hulk, like we said, big task ahead, left to right. We're going to meet them now. Typical SE, Plead, Integral, Noctui, Sosa, and Awesomes. Very good lineup here. We already know Plead. He's a very good Black Panther player, very big Black Panther player, but who else on this roster is really jumping out to you? Who should we be watching out for?
Well, I want to say that I saw Sosa, or maybe it was Integral. Someone was cooking on Team Hulk. It was a Storm player, and immediately I believe I saw a 33-2 on one of the best ones. So just insane stuff from the DPS lineups. We've seen them both 2 times. But yes, it's a big thing that that team on Team Hulk has a Black Panther. I don't want to call him necessarily a one-trick, but Theo was going over the fact that he's someone who has 70 hours on BP and then nothing else on anyone. So
that sounds
essentially,
like a one trick.
Yeah, so essentially, if you were on Team Moon Knight, that Black Panther is definitely someone who I would think you would just go ahead and ban out, maybe. I mean, I know Black Panther isn't necessarily the best when you're talking about a ban scenario, but if it means that you have someone who you know who they one-trick, yeah, making them awkward is going to give you a huge advantage.
It really is something you have to sort of talk about as a team. Do you want to waste a pick on eliminating one full player? Or do you want to use that ban to sort of take out maybe somebody else who might be a bit more challenging to deal with? Like, would you rather use that on like a support like a Luna Snow or like a big tank like a Magneto or a Doctor Strange? So it's really going to come down to what the team decides to do. But like we said, it's going to be tough either way. These are 2 very, very hard-hitting teams, some really strong DPS and tank players. This one could go the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, throughout the bans, I want to talk about those a little bit. I have seen some Black Panther bans before. Today, I've also seen a couple of Storm bans as well, especially the Doctor Strange bans. No surprise there. He's pretty much the best tank in the game. If you say not, well, I don't really know what to tell you. It's pretty set in stone. So, I mean, depending on where you want to go with that, whether it's Magneto or Dr. Stone, they're definitely the best 2. I've seen a lot of those guys getting banned out. And Luna as well has been on everybody's ban radar.
And for good reason. I mean,
Yes.
Luna Snow still is the best support character in the game, even though they tweaked her ultimate a little bit. Still, just so powerful. Like in terms of making a push, surviving a bunch of ults or a team fight, it is the difference maker between a one team fight and a lost team fight. So that's really gonna be something to watch out for. You know, maybe another support like a Sue Storm or a Cloak and Dagger can also pick up that slack depending on which map they're playing, which mode, either attack or defense. So it's really going to come down to what each team is feeling in the moment. But like we said, do you have any predictions as we get closer to the start of this one? Who is going to be moving on to the finals?
Well, here's the thing, right? Team Moon Knight, they looked like they were kind of sweeping through groups, but Team Hulk, they kind of look a little more well-rounded, in my opinion, through watching them play. It seemed like the team was very much on pace with each other, minus Team Moon Knight having to get to that rocky start. And yes, ever since they figured out and adapted, they have been rolling, but I really wonder what they're going to do now since the map opens up, or sorry, the matches open up from just domination. When you have a team of rank discrepancy, like I believe they have a Celestial, they have a Grandmaster, they have a Diamond, and then they have 2 bronze players, and I believe Miguel, who's then, I want to say, Plat.
Yeah.
So when you talk about having that big of a discrepancy, and we're talking about getting on the same page, especially in modes like Convergence or Convoy, it's going to be really hard. And I think that as long as Team Hulk can avoid playing them on domination, I think that honestly you can make them awkward enough to the point where I would expect Team Hulk to actually come out on top of this.
We will see if Team Hulk can smash their way into the grand finals, but we're going to be taking a quick break. When we come back, we will be ready with Team Moon Knight and Team Hulk semifinals. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We're almost ready to start our semifinals. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Evan, not really Evan Johnson, aka the Gambit. As for today, I will say, getting immediately into some match predictions. Where do we have it going exactly score-wise? Because I believe we're in best of three scenarios right now. So, unless I get corrected on that, what do we got?
I don't know. It's tough. I think both teams are going to put up a good fight, but I might have to pull Moon Knight in this situation. I think it's going to be a Moon Knight. I'm going to say 2-1 for Moon Knight because I think they have the team chemistry on lock right now. I don't know if Team Hulk has the firepower to deal with that Doctor Strange and some of the other things that Moon Knight could potentially throw at them. So I have Moon Knight moving on to the finals, but it won't be easy.
Yeah, I think I have Team Hulk, actually. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you here. We're just to create a little bit of tension,
Yeah.
you never know. But I think that with Team Hulk heading into this matchup, there are some things you have to realize with Team Moon Knight. If you've been watching them, if you've been seeing what the results of their games have been, it's very reliant on the Strange. So much so that we actually saw Team Moon Knight in that first group stage running a one-tank lineup. It's not a one-Vanguard lineup. It's not something that you're very used to seeing. But because their Strange is just so damn good, they can just rely on having that one Vanguard and then swapping over to having either another strategist or another duelist. So it's one of those sort of two things where you really need to think about your bans here if you're Team Hulk, because you could just go ahead and ban the Strange away from Team Moon Knight and maybe have to force them to switch it up. And that's something that I would believe should happen, considering the fact that again, Strange is one of those tanks that should be banned out, in theory.
No, absolutely. As we look at Team Moon Knight here, waving for the cameras, throwing up fours for the folks at home. We see you guys there. They look locked. They look ready to go. It's like we said, for Team Hulk, they need to be on their A game, especially when picking bans. We know that Strange, like you said, is going to be the difference maker for Team Moon Knight. So being able to isolate the Strange is going to be Team Hulk's key way that they're going to take away a victory here. But like we said, it's going to be a tough one. We have a bunch of heavy hitters on either sides here. So I think we're just looking for an exciting game here as we take a look at Team Hulk. A bit more locked in than Team Moon Knight. Maybe they don't know they're on camera just yet. Just hanging out, waiting to go. They're waiting, bro.
They're just testing out the vibes,
ready.
right? They're just locking
absolutely.
in. I think one of the things that I want to talk about really is the importance of a character who we haven't really been giving a lot of shine to, but someone who I think could actually, impact the final result of this tournament. And that character's Loki, someone who's not really picked or banned, not necessarily not picked, but not banned out really as much. I don't even believe I've seen him banned out yet this entire day. And one of the things that's very interesting is with Team Hulk, knowing that Team Moon Knight crutches on, or at least to what they believe so far, crutches on the Doctor Strange, you ban out the Strange, that's cool. But if you don't then secure, that means you're not securing the Luna ban, right? Let's say the Luna ban doesn't come through, and now all of a sudden Team Moon Knight can run a Luna, right? At the end of the day, if you're not going to also ban out Luna, that probably means you're not going to target out Loki. And something that I've been seeing a lot is the Loki is because of the fact that he can just copy the ult, right? Having a second Luna ult is absolutely massive in a game like this, whether it means you use the second ban to go to a storm or something like that. In all seriousness, it seems like what I've been seeing a whole lot of is the Loki getting picked out because it just confirms that second Luna ult. And look, it's exactly as what they have planned out so far. Mr. Oz, he's already trying to see if he can secure that Loki pick, and there's Miguel on the Luna, so it works just as I thought out.
No, you're absolutely bang on with the bans here. Taking out the Strange and the Black Panther eliminates sort of both of the one tricks potentially off the board. Looking to save Bucky. You know that Moon Knight was telling us to watch out for their Bucky play, so we're going to see if that does come through, especially. That could be an absolutely huge difference maker as Team Holt elects to save Storm, another solid option. We know they have a really good Storm player on their side, so that is an absolute huge win for that to keep her on the field as we wait for their last ban. Who do we think it's going to be for this last one?
Well, it's just hard to decide. As it comes out, it's going to be the Namor banned out, and that's not surprising at all. That's someone who we haven't been talking about, but it's no surprise that we're seeing the Namor banned out because you pair that with the Luna team up, and that's definitely not a recipe for success if you're going up against it. The Hela being banned out is no surprise, especially since she received last couple of buffs, being able to two-shot combo someone is not very fun. So yeah, I think that this doesn't surprise me at all. We see the Bucky pick from Team Moon Knight, and we do see that double up on, well, triple up actually on support, but the double up between the Loki and the Luna. The Mags gets picked out, and honestly, yeah, not surprising at all that we're seeing that, because the Strange obviously is being taken away. Something I really want to talk about as well, though, is the triple team up between Captain America, Storm, and Thor that we have going on right now. Thor and Cap, you know, they're not an insanely good combo on paper. I mean, I get it, you have the team up, but they don't necessarily work together. It's a lot of playstyle clashes that just don't really link up well, but you never know. It's anyone's game, and as we get into Convoy on Spider Islands, who knows what we have in store.
What it really says to me is that Team Hulk is looking to play ultra aggressive. They have the Cap and the Thor, who are going to be super strong in that dive comp. You have Luna Snow and the Cloak and Dagger that can support from a distance, and the Storm can just provide those buffs as well. You know, like we said, on attacks here as Team Hulk, like, you know, we'll see if they can get this dive. This first point, especially on Convergence, this corner is going to be a very big to see who is going to be able to break through. It's very easy to get stuck out on this first corner as Team Hulk and Team Moon Knight begin the clash. Just Hayes picking up that first kill with Luna Snow, but Sosa making his presence known with Moon Knight early, as many members trying to get set up here, is trying to get set up with Captain America, trying to make some space for his team, but Spooky trying to hold it down with Magneto, trying to make sure that those die tanks can't get any closer to him.
But again, they're only rocking a one Vanguard lineup, so eventually your supports are going to get punished for that, especially when you realize the Thor, the Cap, it's all based on dive, and that's exactly what happens. The corner gets taken, the supports fall minus the Cloak and Dagger, and all of a sudden, we have Team Hulk moving through exceptionally.
Yeah, and that's really because of that aggressive dive strategy that we were talking about. Like you said, that one Vanguard meta just doesn't really work out when you have a team that's ultra aggressive like that. Once your supports go down, you're so isolated, and especially with Magneto, who is one of the slower characters in the game, it is just absolutely game over if someone gets right up in your face like Spider-Man just did to Cloak and Dagger there. Definitely going to be another big difference maker. Spider-Man so strong in the right hands. Raws elected to swap to a rocket as well. So they still keep that 3 support meta, but changing things up just a little bit. That rocket could make a huge difference. So hard to kill, especially when they get going.
Well, especially when you're running DPS players that have output, such as Spider-Man and Psylocke on single targets, you really have to think the rocket's just going to be able to enable their damage. But at the same time, you have to really think for a second here. Running this one tank, especially on defense, and especially because of the insanely aggressive comp right now that Team Hulk is running, it's really just a whole point of sustainability. How long can you hold out for? And as Spectrum starts with the Psylocke ult, it's going to find, I don't believe, anybody. And because of that, now all of a sudden, the attacking side, even though they do start to dwindle, never mind, it got them low enough. It seems like Team Moon Knight, they've been able to hold out for now.
Yeah, that was a great stall out, you know, able to get that Luna Snow ult out of the game, sort of canceling out a couple of those ults there. That Thor getting his in as well, as Hayes swapping back onto that Loki. Definitely going to be something to watch out for, especially when we get going here. Cloak and Dagger having another ult to play with, as the Storm ult coming out, as Khonshu trying to do it himself here, as Noctu trying to find one, but Dagger is coming back. Jeff, Spider-Man finding 2 of his own. The defense just pulling up numbers right now, just absolutely stalling the attacking side right now, using as many ults as they can to stop this progress here. This is the best we've seen Moon Knight look all game here. This is really where they're going to start to dig their feet in and try and get some progress back on their side.
Absolutely, and minus the Cloak and Dagger ult, there's not really a lot that, at least in ult economy, that Team Hulk has in store right now, whereas you still have the Loki ult that Team Moon Knight can depend upon to really duplicate, whether it's that Luna ult he wants to copy, or maybe the Psylocke ult if everyone's just getting into a little bit of trouble. But whatever it is right now, Team Hulk, they're going on the aggression. The Cloak and Dagger ult goes out, and all of a sudden, it seems like the Luna ult comes through from the Loki, and he's copying it exactly as thought, and that's what I was going off of. This is huge because it's almost just free sustainability. And now, as the triple comes out. It's Spectrum picking up pick after pick after pick. The man looks unstoppable, and he's proving it right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what a good Psylocke player can do. Getting in that back line. Sosa gonna take him out before he gets too crazy, though, but Team Moon Knight making their presence known here and showing that they are not going to be pushed around as easily as Team Hulk is going to let them. Jeff Freak trying to get into that back line there, trying to get those supports disrupted with Spider-Man here, but Seb and Awesome pulling it together for that team here, but not really been a good attacking side after they've gone through this gate here. The Moon Knight side has really sort of dug their heels in and got an aggressive defense here as another Luna Snowball coming out for Team Moon Knight, just stopping any progress from the attack. That's another Luna Snowball coming out, just ult's going crazy right now. Another ult in the side of Thor is gonna find the dagger, finding a second as well here. Just absolute chaos on the point here. Spooky trying to push up just that little bit more to get those stragglers. As Sosa, he does have another ult to play with, trying to push back just a little bit, overextending just that little bit. But now Hulk getting that space they need to start pushing that payload again.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, for now, Team Moon Knight, it seems like they're holding on, but that Thor ult was massive for the time being. Takes out 2 supports, and all of a sudden, Team Hulk can just kind of start backpacking on their tanks, especially when that Thor can put out so much damage so quickly. Right now, the Cap ult being kind of just held in pocket, and you have to expect that maybe it's going to be used soon. There it is. But at the same time, you have so much to combat. It's a Wanda ult coming out, and it finds 2 supports for Team Moon Knight. And because of the Cap ult as well, you have to think that this is going to most likely be it for this hold. It's got to start to blunder soon, but all of a sudden, it's the battle of the Psylocke ults. And yes, Team Hulks will come through and prevail. However, it actually seems like it's just been stalled out enough to the point where Moon Knight can just sort of juggle their players, regroup, and they should be able to get to this before you hit that next point.
Yeah, Jeff was just able to get that Psylocke ult at the very end there. He was able to win that 1v1 here. That could have been devastating, losing that Spider-Man as well. That would have been the end of that hold, but Spider-Man, Jeff living in that situation, able to stall out just that little bit more to get more members of Team Moon Knight back onto the payload. Team Hulk, Cloak and Dagger ult does come out as Fear Magneto trying to find someone, doesn't get any on that dunk here, getting frozen out. Jeff finishing out Sosa. That's another pick for him. Jeff has been doing a lot of work on that Spider-Man and disrupting that backline.
I was going to say,
Team Hulk, yeah, exactly.
No one's been able to deal with him so far, and that's huge. The fact that the Spider-Man's able to just abuse the backline and get away, the sustainability, being able to dive back and turn to your team and not get affected, it's absolutely massive. And it's because of plays like this that Team Hulk, though, they've been able to take that. When you leave your line at all and you go for the dive, sometimes you leave people more vulnerable. And right now, Team Hulk, they're taking advantage. They've been able to pick apart the healers, and the rest of the team is starting to fall. There's too much damage coming in. The healers cannot sustain the rest of their team. And as it all comes through, it will be Team Hulk securing that second checkpoint.
Yeah, excellent work from Team Hulk by able to stay with that and not give up that team fight. Excellent showing of discipline there, and just like you said, playing those ults perfectly, you know, using those support ults in the right situations here, and now they're looking good. Is another ult in the side of Spider-Man coming out here, finding Seb in the support line, just going to be pushing up just a little bit more. Nobody on the payload right now except Awesome on Cloak and Dagger. Jeff looking for that kill. He's like a shark. He's prowling around looking for any of those supports who are low in the back line. And yeah, like you said, nobody on the side of Hulk has been able to deal with Jeff at all. He has just been given free reign in the back line. At some point, you have to make a change and figure out a way to stop him.
See, you were going to say that, but I don't necessarily know, because yes, Jeff has been doing good on paper, but when you really look at it so far, it's not like they've been necessarily holding this attack back. The attack continues to move. 30 seconds left. This is going to be the final hold to see if Team Moon Knight can sustain on this defense. They have the ult from Magneto that I'm assuming has to come out soon, but because of the low health, you might want to just save it for the next team fight, because you're going to go down eventually, and there it is. So right now, Team Hulk, look at how many ults they have as well. Everyone's going to have it. Pretty much their entire team's going to have the ult on both sides, minus the Psylocke for Team Hulk. So this is going to get very messy, and as it hits overtime, this is going going to be a very big game of patience. Here it comes immediately, the Luna ult, the C&D ult, and also the Chaos coming through from Wanda. There's the Cap ult coming through as well. It's just pandemonium. And now, diving those supports, that's exactly what you need to do. The Magneto ult comes through, and that will be able to get rid of some of that shield from Cap, but eventually it all comes back. The Loki ult can also be used to copy another Luna ult, and that's exactly what I thought was going to happen, but no, they're going to stack it. I'm calling it right now, but the Loki going down is absolutely massive for Team Hulk right now. The Luna ult cannot be copied for another 6 seconds, and with this, you can start to contest, get rid of other people on the other team, and the Thor ult's going to be able to take down the Luna again. That's amazing play right there from Team Hulk, and they are pushing through. Mr. Oz, he has to come back. He has to replicate a Luna ult right now if he wants to have any chance of surviving this oncoming onslaught.
Yeah, just like you said, absolute pandemonium as Jeff finding two, and a third one again as Psylocke goes down here. All members of Team Hulk on the payload to stop this last-ditch effort. Spectrum with a huge pick onto Integral. Team Moon Knight has to get back on the payload, and they are going to do it just at the very end. They stall out Team Hulk in a very exciting. I mean, look at Team Hulk. They're just going absolutely crazy right now after that hold. They know they have more game to play, but if you're on the side of Team Moon Knight, what a great hold.
That's a great way to open up. I was going to say, it's all dependent on the Loki. We were going on about it earlier. This is the pick that can affect so many matchups because you have that second Luna ult that you can rely on, that you can fall back on. And we saw it. That's what won them that, right? I mean, we see Miguel, he uses his Luna ult, he immediately dies to the Thor ult from Integral, but it doesn't matter because, yes, the Loki was picked off, but his team was able to just stall enough in time. He was able to get back onto that point, copy the Luna ult, give his team the time from the Luna ult to regroup and get back in. And because all of those ults got drained originally on Miguel's Luna ultimate at the very end there, it was free pickings. No one else had any other ult economy to put down, and it was as if you had nothing going on and a Luna ult to fight, and it's just impossible to win that.
No, it is impossible to win that, especially when you have a lot of ults coming out at one time. When it gets, like you said, it gets really messy, it gets really hard to follow, so it really takes a seasoned player to know, like, when that chaos happens, know when the right time is to pop your ult, especially, you know, like you said, when it's so chaotic and, you know, you feel that pressure of needing to pop your ult just to match energy with all the other people as we're, you know, but like we said, excellent work on the side of Moon Knight to just hang in there right at the very end and stall it out. And now we're going to see how they do on the attacking side. A pretty similar team comp for both sides here, but Sosa for Team Hulk deciding to swap to a Punisher, which that could be a difference, especially if you're dealing with some of those backliners.
Well, it's also just because of the Spider-Man as well. We're really thinking about the whole effect of the shotgun, right? The Spider-Man will go low so quick here if he's not careful. But I will say that for attack, I understand why you're trying to run it. You pick off a support immediately, especially when it's a team trying to defend. No choke is going to be safe. It's going to be health that's not going to be able to get regen in time, especially with all the damage output. So that's what you got to be thinking about. Spectrum picking up the kill on Integral, and because of that, one Vanguard down, especially with Thor, one of your highest damage dealers on tank roll, it's going to be very hard to continue this hold. And I was going to say, it's going to snowball very quickly in the next couple seconds.
No, it has snowballed very quickly. Look at Team Hulk. I mean, they've had a very quick start here. Just absolutely no resistance from the side of Team Hulk here on this first point. They're already at the first objective, and barely a minute and a half has passed by. They are looking very strong right now, riding that momentum at the end of the first round, that first half, into this next set so cleanly here as Spooky trying to handle it down as the solo Vanguard. He's been doing a great job so far, but Team Hulk has some heavy hitters of their own here. Spectrum trying to get in that backline, having to deal with that Storm. Huge ult from Hayes as that's going to just about secure it, but two members of Team Hulk trying to defend it to the last man, but it's not going to go as Fear Magneto. He's going to try and get a shot. Can't find anyone there. Integral getting frozen here. He is stalled out here very quickly. Kind of back a little bit here. Spooky trying to push up a little bit against his mirror-matched Magneto here as Integral still in the backline looking for those supports. You know, when you're a backline dive tank, you see those low supports alone by yourself. That's a favorite thing to see, but more ults coming out as Polton finds Spider-Man, finds Jeff with that ult, but a combo of two Luna Snow ults to offset the other one is now the payload stalled out just a little bit as both teams try to take control of it.
I was going to say, but I think Team Hulk has actually timed this one out a little bit better. They should have the advantage now as they start to combo up with the Storm and the Wanda ult at the same time. I don't necessarily know if I'd use that at the same time, but you know what? It works out for them, and that's all they're going to care about. Is Storm's going to find 3 and a 4th as well. Give Noctui the quad. 32, though, has to be sustained, and all of a sudden, the Spider-Man will be able to find the pick, but at what cost, Evan?
At what cost? A major cost, absolutely. And now Noctui is the one we're going to really be watching out for. We were talking about how that Storm pick might be the difference maker here. You would think that the Storm would be that top priority. Here is another Thunder and Lightning enjoyer, and Integral finds Hayes. That's a big support pick for Team Hulk here, as now they're trying to really dig in their defense here. Jeff and another Henzo ult coming out. Here is another Wanda bomb coming out so quickly. That's 2 going down. Jeff and Cloak and Dagger. Noctui finding Hayes, a typical finding Magneto.
Wow.
And Psylocke here. Huge hold for Team Hulk here, as now Moon Knight has to scramble with 3 minutes left.
I was going to say, stemming from the Storm 4K from Noctui, you would definitely expect the attack to slow down a little bit, and credit to him that actually had to force out some more ultimates from Team Hulk to even find the to confirm, or just to confirm on the hold of the point. But at the same time, 2 minutes 40 seconds, you know, it's not the worst time ever. You definitely have a chance still, but you need to get things moving in very quickly, and as ults start to go down, it's going to be Hulk that are throwing in everything they have. Typical Seb with the Luna ult, but the Spider-Man waits just in time, but gets CC'd mid-ult as well! You were just timing it up perfectly after the Luna ult to try to get that Spider-Man ult on point, but all of a sudden the Sue Storm ult goes up as well, the Magneto ult goes down. It's pure chaos, but right now the numbers favors are moving for Team Moon Knight. The Spider-Man has been able to find solo picks, and that's why he's been so much more effective on the offensive side than the defense. It just generates and it goes into motion so much better. You find a pick on maybe the defense, it doesn't necessarily matter, attackers have near spawn, but you find it on the attack, that first have to go all the way back in order to join their team. Jeff Freak, I don't think I've even seen him really die maybe more than twice so far on this stretch of the game. So, again, you gotta think, right now, Team Moon Knight, they're still looking like they're on pace. They're almost at that second checkpoint too, and they still have 1:40 to go.
Yeah, they've looked really strong after that first point where they were slowing down a little bit. Here's Noctui coming in with that massive tornado here, but that Sue Storm ult coming out as well as the payload getting stalled out here. That's another pick for Jeff Freak. He has quite a good collection he's got going on here as Team Moon Knight trying to push Team Hulk back as far as they can here. Spectrum very deep in the back line trying to get these supports off that payload, as Integral does find another one of those supports here as Team Hulk pushing the payload back just that little bit more to stop Moon Knight from getting that second point to tie it up here. Just about a minute to go for Team Moon Knight to get that second checkpoint if they want to keep this game going here. Sosa has another Wanda bomb to work with here, but getting worked by that Spider-Man who does pop his ult, finding a shield too, but can't get anybody. Very low there, as well as Magneto trying to push up for Team Magneto. Does have another ult to play with here. Is he going to pop it? He is going to, but that's a Luna Snow ult to counter. And another Wanda bomb coming out. Can't find anybody. Does find one. That's Jeff Freak going down. Other members of that team still staying up here. It's just more chaos happening on the payload as it slowly starts to walk backwards, not the direction that Team Moon Knight wants to be going right now.
Here's the thing though, Mr. Oz will have another ult in pocket that he can copy. I'm assuming you'd probably use it for the Soothe, but who knows, depending on what happens as everything goes down all at once. It's complete pandemonium. 10 seconds left, and no one can really grab a foothold. Everything's just being contested. Thor trying to see if he can hit anyone with the lightning, but it's all being healed simultaneously. The Sue Storm ult does come down from Mr. Oz. It's exactly as I predicted. Spectrum with 2, Hayes with another as well. Everyone on Team Hulk is falling by the wayside, but can Noctui hold on? Can the Storm ult just do enough? Taking damage 32, but he's going to be able to find one, but gets picked off almost immediately after. And because of that, Team Moon Knight, they will be able to reach that second checkpoint and buy them a minute and some change.
Oh, it was such a valiant effort from Team Hulk there, but that's exactly what happens when they plan out those ultimates. I mean, Noctui trying to get that Storm mode in there is going to be swapping to a Punisher to sort of challenge some of these Flyers a little bit and get more upfront DPS in there, but Team Moon Knight showing more resilience here as they push up into the second checkpoint. The series is tied right now. They do have to get to the end if they want to secure this win. They need to get to the end in 60 seconds here as Jeffrey trying to pull Integral off the map here, but he does have that dash to save himself. That would have been a massive pick for Team Moon Knight here to get that main tank out of there, but Jeffrey, he's gonna keep diving in as Magneto Ult comes in, does dunk onto Hayes as another one coming out, but it's getting blocked by the barrier, but finding one is with the splash damage here. Oh my god, that is huge. Exactly, Spectrum finding a pick onto Thor here as Moon Knight looking to get to the end here. They are sprinting to the end right now, absolutely rolling right now, and Team Hulk only one Luna Snow ult and a Wanda Bomb to work with right now, and Moon Knight, they've got a couple ults theirs that are going to be ready to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what, the Wanda ult, he was just trying to hide behind, but gets stunned out of it as well. The Spider-Man doing a good job of denying that, and the Psylocke ult can come out too and just hold enough time, but the Luna ult comes through to counter it out. It's a beautiful job by Team Hulk to save the Luna ult for this, but the C&D ult should be able to maybe help them confirm. It's on OT right now. Everyone's contesting, but you have to watch it right now. Team Moon Knight is absolutely rolling. They're picking off every person minus Integral. And at the same time, he falls just as fast. Team Moon Knight, they find their confirm. They put my prediction to bed, at least for now, as they move on to the second match.
Yeah, that was, what a very relaxing game to watch. I mean, like, just absolutely crazy. I mean, like, if that's the type of match we're going to be getting in the first round of the semifinals, we are in for an absolute treat for later in the show here. But, I mean, both teams just trading blows back and forth. I mean, I feel like Team Hulk, you know, you feel like you could have won that one. You probably should have won that one in that first round. They did everything they could, but just one or two ults going the opposite way, and that is a massive, massive difference maker, especially in team fights here. It's going to be looking at some of the replays from this last round here. I mean, look at Noctui on Storm, man. Like, so inspirational and just so deadly. Him and Integral were just a deadly combo for Team Hulk there, but just not enough to get past Team Moon Knight.
Yeah, honestly, you know what? Again, it's as if I was pointing it out in the pregame. I think that when we want to talk about impact, a lot of people are going to think about Mr. Oz, someone who can just copy the Luna ults on the defense. It's literally what made them hold there and deny Team Hulk that third point when they were attacking. When it comes to the defense, being able to duplicate that Sue Storm ult just to hold choke points, you know, it's really valuable stuff. So coming out here, I gotta say, the Loki pick was definitely, I think, in my mind, what puts Team Moon Knight over the edge. And for any team watching, spectating right now, if there are any, whether they're in the pit or in their next match, notes to take down, think about the Loki. Think about it. Whether it means that you don't necessarily want to ban it, it's just having a second support ult that can go down, or any ult at any time. It's massive. It changes the entire game up.
No, it absolutely does, and I think Loki is one of those supports that maybe has been more underappreciated. I mean, we know who the big three are. It's Cloak and Dagger, it's Luna Snow, it's Invisible Woman. Those are the absolute big three, the big top dogs of support, so Loki doesn't get as much love, but like you were saying, so integral in being able to copy those support ults to just extend some of those team fights. But I want to shout out Spectrum in that last game. His play on Psylocke, him and Jeff comboing on those infiltrators in the backline, just so strong. And they really, I mean, Team Hulk didn't really have a single answer for them. You know, they were able to pick them off here and there, but they were just so massive and causing chaos and causing enough disruption to just push that front of the team fight just enough to sort of get and control the play of field for them. So excellent work from Spectrum and the members of Team Moon Knight, but still more to go if they want to start talking about the finals.
Yeah, you know what, I think it's really interesting to see that Team Moon Knight on defense actually ran more of a dive composition, and it actually sort of worked out for them a little bit as they were able to hold, because of the fact that you had the Loki, and then on the attack we realized how much more value they would have gotten out of it. When you have a Captain America and a Thor, and then you switch it up, it doesn't necessarily matter, but Thor on defense, it's not really the best play, you know what I mean? And look, there were some amazing wand bombs. Noctui went absolutely feral with those tornadoes, but at the same time, I feel like when you look across the board, the number one thing that I see is the fact that the Loki on Team Moon Knight, 9 deaths. They weren't able to pick him off at all, despite, you know, having the Storm, but it just all got controlled very well. So I think that that is the X factor when you look at deaths from supports. We look at Team Hulk, they weren't really able to deal with the dive as well. You see the Luna with 14 deaths, to name a character who when we talk about Luna Snow, we're talking about the peak of survivability for supports. Dying 14 times there is not very common, and I think that that's honestly something that puts Team Moon Knight over the edge, is the fact that Loki was able to just survive, and there was no one on Team Hulk that could really get in the back and have the time to take him out.
No, and like we were saying with Spectrum and Jeffrey, look at those kill totals, 52 and 13 with Psylocke. Just absolutely insane play from Spectrum and Jeff on Spider-Man. That's crazy. I mean, like, and you look at both Moon Knight supports, 48 assists for both Loki and Cloak and Dagger, just absolutely huge. Even if they weren't getting as many frags as some of their other teammates, they were involved with a lot of kills and just getting all that healing for that side. So just excellent work from the side of Team Moon Knight, but Team Hulk as well, very balanced all around. Sosa and Noctui leading with 36 frags for both of them leading the team, but just not enough to get past some of those heavy hitters from Team Moon Knight. But like we said, excellent showing. As Spectrum taking home our match MVP of that first round. Like we said, 52 and 13, just a nice casual 52 bomb on Psylocke. 90% vibes for Spectrum as well. Hopefully we get that to 100 by the time the next game rolls around.
Yeah, you know what? There was nothing really better to see on display than when Spectrum would time up that Psylocke ult perfectly right after often the Luna would come out, because sometimes what would happen is the Luna ult would come out to counter the Magneto. We saw that happen on multiple occasions, and then right after it's done, and they're like, hey guys, we're all good, we're safe. All of a sudden the Psylocke ult comes out, and it's like, oh, well, that's wraps.
You hate to see it happen. I mean, we'll see if Team Hulk and Team Moon Knight have any answers for the other one. We're going to be taking a quick break soon. When we come back, we will be entering the second game of this best of 3 semifinals. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Sorry, not really Evan Johnson. And we are back with game 2 right now of our best of 3. We saw Team Moon Knight taking home game 1 in sort of dominant fashion, at least on the defensive side, and in the attack, they ended up weathering the storm, if you get that pun.
Oh, that was very good.
Yeah.
That was very good. Very X-Men-esque pun, I would say. But no, it was a really great showing from both teams. But Moon Knight showing a bit more resilience there, winning those team fights that they needed to win. But such a close match on all sides here. We were sort of discussing over the break is what does Team Hulk need to do in order to push this to a game 3? Do you keep that Strange off the field and denying one of Moon Knight's best players, their best character, or are you sort of focusing supports now to try and eliminate some of those high pick supports, like a Luna Snow or somebody like a Sue Storm or a Cloak and Dagger? But we're going to wait no longer as we get into bans. Convergence on Spider Islands as we get into the second game here, waiting for the first ban from Team Hulk. They decide to take Spider-Man right off the board immediately. That is absolutely a response to Jeff Freak. I mean, he was just going absolutely crazy. One might say freaky mode with Spider-Man in that last one.
I mean, took out Luna 14 times, and especially when you had the Loki there that can just replicate ult as well. It was as if they had a 2-1, sometimes a 2-0 advantage, depending on how good the Spider-Man could hold out in the dive. And I mean, even after we see that the Strange gets picked out, the Black Panther gone for Team Hulk. As we did mention, there was a heavy Black Panther player, and because you banned out the Spider-Man, there you go. Spooky has his main. So this is going to be already very interesting to see what Spooky can do on his most played character. We do see as well Team Hulk, they're going to lock in the Hela, a great DPS, huge damage coming through, and one of the best, if not the best, DPS right now in the game.
Yeah, absolutely very strong. This is the final ban on the side of Team Hulk here as we await Team Moon Knight's final pick. I like the Hela save. Hela, like you said, so strong in the meta right now, and there is Storm getting taken out. Knock 2, they have to respond. If we're gonna take out your Spider-Man, we're gonna take out your Storm. That's exactly the way they're gonna answer that one. But Sosa getting to play Hela, Santi trying to lock in Cloak and Dagger. Typical Seb, looking like he's gonna be rocking Luna Snow. Jeff Freak though, if he's going with Star-Lord, if he's good with Spider-Man, I'm really scared to see what that Star-Lord's gonna be. He's gonna be an absolute menace with Star-Lord.
Yeah, and I was going to say, looking at what we're seeing right now, I wondered if they were going to lock in the triple duelist. They are going to do exactly just that. So Hela will most likely just sit in the back line looking for snipes, and immediately you're going to have the double dive as well that can come out on the attack from Team Hulk. The Thing is a great brawl tank right now. A very good option when paired with people that can do huge damage very quickly in the front line, like that Hela who can help out in that regard. But the thing that I want to talk about is the Storm ban, and because of that, we see the Loki and the Luna being picked out from Team Moon Knight. The Luna again comes through from Team Hulk, and you have to expect that because now all of a sudden there's no one who can actually counter the Luna ult. When she's started, she's not going to be taking any damage herself.
No, absolutely. That is going to be something. Bit of a comp switch here as Noctui electing to swap onto Doctor Strange. Jeff Freak swapping to Bucky. Winter Soldier could be looking at that one specifically. Team Hulk looking to play a bit of a huge portal play here as they're getting right behind Team Moon Knight trying to take out these Loki clones, but Team Moon Knight seems like they're ready for it as Hayes opens the picks again, getting Integral up there, and oh, what a dink! Jeff Freak onto the Thing here. Here's the Thing. He's out of this one for right now as Team Hulk, though, still right up on that balcony. Still many members in that backline. Team Moon Knight's got their hands full right now, but here's Spooky trying to get right up in there with Doctor Strange here, using that barrier to his advantage as Healers, making sure he doesn't lose that ground here. They're going to make sure that Team Hulk doesn't leave that balcony spot here. Spooky finding Hela. He is out now. As Spooky, like we said, we knew he was going to be deadly with Doctor Strange, and we're seeing why very early on here.
And you know what? Something that I didn't even really talk about is I've heard about Jeff Freak's Bucky earlier today, and I've heard that it's one of the best Bucky players we have here. So this is going to be very interesting to see now that you ban the Spider-Man, but you walk straight into his Bucky pick, how that's going to result. Spectrum immediately able to keep the Psylocke. You know he's going to be running that one all day. And the thing that I'm very confused about is, or not confused, but I think it's going to be very troubling for Team Hulk is you're running the dive comp, right? But the problem is you have a bunch of supports who are very hard to dive into. You have the Loki who can just swap it with multiple clones. The Luna has CC and can get away very quickly. And just the amount of healing that they can both put down to sustain each other is massive. So I think that for Team Hulk, the question is going to be, can they get rid of that Loki in the backline with the dive? And can Mr. Oz just keep sustaining himself with his clones? That's going to be the name of the game.
Oh, and here's a massive Aya Bagamoto doesn't get taken as he gets CC'd by that Luna Snow. You were just talking about how good Luna Snow was at defending with that CC as we get another ult on the point. That's a Psylocke ult from Noctui that doesn't find anybody, but Spectrum is going to answer with one of his own. Does find one pick here, but not finding another one as that Luna Snow ult is going to protect members here. Sosa taking out Spectrum as more members of Team Hulk are falling by the dozen.
How are they
here.
holding
Just
this?
Sosa is left, and somehow, some miracle, Team Moon Knight managed to survive that push here. Smoke, what were you seeing there? Like, how did that happen?
Typical Seb has a great Luna ult because it counters the Bucky ult, but at the same time, Jeff Freak, he's pretty much all alone with one other person. And some way, somehow, Jeff is able to not only sustain himself, but to find picks as well to burn time. Are you kidding me? Team Moon Knight, take a bow, because that hold was absolutely amazing. Aya Bagamoto stuns quite a few as well, so you gotta think that picks will rack up soon here. But the cap ult going through will be able to help sustain, and all of a sudden, Team on Attack, you see it's going to be the copy of the Luna ult. Mr. Oz able to help his team defend, and what picks can they get done here? How long can they hold out for as we see the Luna ult goes down, and all of a sudden after that, there's no ult economy. You have to expect this is finally going to be it, but Team Hulk, they need to get rid of these last two on point.
Yeah, just a great showing for them. This is the best push we've seen all game from Team Hulk so far. They have to go quick, though. 30 seconds left as there are still members. They're already back, and armed and dangerous. Bucky does come out. We are going to get a second one and a third one. Looking for that fourth pick. Another one again. Looking for that fourth pick. Doesn't find it, but the Adam Warlock goal! Huge res from Adam Warlock brings all the members of Team Hulk back onto the field. Spooky having to run away. He is lit right now. That is Spectrum with a last-ditch Silent goal. Does find a second one. That Luna Snow ult defending many members of Team Hulk here, but Integral is getting Spooky. He is out now. We are into overtime now as Team Hulk looks to make one last-ditch effort to capture this point to keep this match going. Spectrum here cannot do it himself. It's all up to Mr. Oz with Loki, his clones, and his immortality fields. Can they do enough to stall?
They're going to be able to get back on point.
Moon Knight is back onto the point here. More members going down. That's Jeff Freak going down as well, just up to Spooky, and he's not going to get there. What a frenetic round of action there in overtime. Team Hulk yet again proving that they are not going down without a fight. They keep this game going longer.
Well, it was beautiful. I mean, the Bucky ult finds 4, but for what value? The Adam Warlock ult comes out and it reses 4 of the teammates, and that's just not something that can happen if your team Moon Knight, you see that work against you and you're like, no, all of this for nothing. And Team Hulk, they eventually get through, and Team Moon Knight, they just have to play patient now. As we see picks starting to come in, it's going to be Spooky on that Doctor Strange, able to find that magic. And for now, that means the dive will have to subside for a little bit. We see the Bucky trying to use the pull, just trying to see if he can pull anyone back into that front line. But no, to no avail. And right now, it seems like as the cap ult gets put out, this is going to have to be the dive that comes through. They need to try to find something, but the Eye of Agamotto immediately counters it out. Spooky with 2, and it's going to be Team Moon Knight that can just take their sweet time and roll this attack.
Yeah, great showing from Team Moon Knight there. We know that Spooky was going to be a huge difference maker. Great use of the Eye of Agamotto there to stop that push here. And now look at Team Moon Knight. They have 4 ults to play with right now. C and D ult going to be there very soon as well. They're in a perfect position to defend against the push that Team Hulk is going to be sending their way. Spooky in that back when their Spectrum dealing with magic, trying to make sure she can't find any of those supports. That Bucky ult does come out, finding one, but can't find any of them as the Child is coming out with 2 Luna Snow ults and a Cloak and Dagger out. Oh my goodness, it is just absolute.
They're going to have another one too. The Loki's going to be able to take another Luna ult as well. So they're going to have 2 Luna ults now when this is all done. If they get trouble. Mr. Oz, he's going to be able to pop the Luna ult to save time. 33 seconds left to go, and here it goes. There it is. So now this should be able to help Team Moon Knight defend. There's not really much you can do. You don't have a Storm ult to fall back on anymore, but picks are not starting to rain in. Bucky cannot find the C&D, and all of a sudden now, it needs to be the answer that gets found, but it's not happening. The attack is still moving strong. The Hella ult finds two! Huge from Noctui, and all of a sudden, the attack is still alive and moving.
Smoke, I think I blacked out there for a couple seconds. Not really sure what happened there. Like we said, absolutely frenetic action. Just Team Hulk showing again that they're saving their ults just perfectly, using that economy here. Let's see if Moon Knight can stall them out in these last 10, 20 meters here in overtime. Yes, Spooky very, very close to getting his ult again. Jeff Freak, another Bucky ult in his pocket very, very shortly. Sosa swapping to...
This is
Here it comes. There it is. The Eye of Agamotto does get comboed with that Bucky ult. They are going to find two members. That Spectrum getting one, but Integral is going to take out Spooky before you do too much damage. Spectrum finding Captain America, trying to take care of Magic as well. She is going to get away just barely. 4 members of Team Moon Knight on that payload to stop Team Hulk's last final push here.
No
Spectrum
way.
in a huge duel with Magic. She does manage to get away though. Back to her supports in the back line here. Seb holding it down, doing the Lord's work, but just not enough as Moon Knight stalls out that defense here. But Team Hulk, they were rolling and they were dealing really, really well. Excellent work from Team Moon Knight to keep the composure.
Man, I mean, honestly, Team Hulk there, they had their moments, but at the end of the day, I was looking at the ult percentages, and it would have been Team Moon Knight who had the Bucky ult and Strange ult combo, and there was going to be nothing that Team Hulk were going to be able to do about it. When Team Moon Knight pops that Eye of Agamotto with the Bucky ult at the very end, I know we're watching the earlier one, but that was ultimately the end of it. But honestly, just highlighting the Adam Warlock ult to res all of his team after the Bucky ult goes down, that was what gave them the point there. It's what let Team Hulk even cap, because it honestly looked like Team Moon Knight was going to be able to hold the entire time.
Yeah, they really were looking super, super strong on defense, but Team Hulk just finding these little answers here. But this was the one we were talking about here right at the very end here. Spooky popping one. He does fall down, but he does enough damage to get his team the win in this round here. Spectrum again pulling in with that Psylocke, just doing so good in the backline here. Now we're going to see if Moon Knight can respond on attack here. We're going to see how aggressive they decide to push this first point here. Looks like both teams mainly switching with their comp here, but Integral electing to swap over to Wolverine. Excellent pick, especially for dealing with tanks and diving that backline to try and get those supports here. Really going to be looking to see what he can do on Wolverine.
Yeah, you know what? This is really going to test Spooky's survivability with Doctor Strange. We do see Integral right now just camping out, waiting for the opportune moment to strike, but it's going to have to wait for just a little bit. Strange now, the team moving in. They got to worry about the cap as he starts immediately, and there it is. That's what Wolverine can do for you. The Strange already down to 189, but his support sustained him just enough for now.
Yeah, the Wolverine just getting that quick kidnap on Strange here, but Spectrum manages to stop any of that nonsense, and now Team Moon Knight pushing onto the point. That's one support down, and there's a second one for Spectrum here, as Spectrum doing it all himself in securing that point, as Seb having to back off that point, but Bucky is almost going to get him. It's Spectrum again. Always seeing Spectrum in the kill feed right now for Team Moon Knight as they quickly capture this first point. 5 minutes now to get just about to the end of the second checkpoint, and right now they look really strong and hard to stop.
Well, we saw it in Game 1 and we're seeing it in Game 2. They just can't stop the Psylocke from Spectrum. It's been able to do too much. Even in the last one, I know the Bucky and Doctor Strange ult, it was ultimately the confirmer, but Spectrum also popped that Psylocke ult as well to take control, and we just see it happening right now. Spooky, when you leave him on Doctor Strange, he makes good things happen. Spectrum on the kill board, Jeff finds one as well, and all of a sudden, it's Team Hulk. They are in a dire situation. They could lose this game so early and be seeing their exit home as well.
Yeah, Team Hulk swapping some of their, this absolutely is their everything. Trying to swap that combo, trying to find the answer. Seb on Luna Snow, Noctui on Moon Knight, Sosa switching to the Thing. And here's the thing about the Thing, Patrick. Excellent tank here, but in a solo tank situation when you need to hold this hard, maybe not the smartest choice. As Spectrum, here he is ulting again here. Can't find a pick, but pushing the members of Team Hulk back just far enough to get that payload moving. Absolutely massive here. That's all you need to just space out Team Hulk perfectly as Santi trying to get that cloak and dagger ult, but that's an Eye of Agamotto that gets taken and countered by a Seb Luna Snow ult, not doing much damage there, stalling out with 4 meters left to go, but Team Moon Knight has another Luna Snow ult to play with. Potentially it's Sosa, it's Clobber in time for them, but that Luna Snow ult does come out and a cloak and dagger ult. This should seal the deal, assuming they can get all these picks. Spectrum gonna get the last one. Team Moon Knight, a very hard-fought victory, but they will be moving on to the finals. Well earned for them.
Absolutely. And you know what? After seeing what they've mustered up on that series, I am completely mistaken. You know what? I was watching Team Hulk. I was very impressed with what I was seeing there, but Spooky is simply so good at tank that you can just allow him to be the solo tank in the party, and immediately when you have people like Jeff and Spectrum to rely on as those DPSs, it just does not work no matter what you try. They were not able to deal with the Psylocke, and the Loki as well was a beautiful pick from Team Moon Knight. I was raving on about it in the pre-show. Ultimately, brilliant job there from Team Moon Knight. They move on to your grand finals.
Yeah, but give lots of credit. Give lots of credit to Team Hulk here as both members of the team going over to congratulate the other ones. Very hard-fought victory for Moon Knight. But like we said, give credit to Team Hulk. I mean, they had a very good performance against an incredibly strong Doctor Strange. They were making stuff happen. I mean, it didn't really look good on that last one when Moon Knight just completely rolled their defense. But in that first Spider Islands we saw, that was such a competitive mode. Like, that really could have gone either way. If that one goes the side of Team Hulk, you know, maybe they would have had that extra momentum and that confidence to get through the second match. But Team Moon Knight proving that they're just a little bit more resilient, just that much better. And Spooky, he's going to be really hard to stop. He is their X factor on Team Moon Knight. He is going to be the one that any future team in the finals, they're really going to have to game plan around him.
Yeah, I mean, you target ban Jeff Spider-Man if you're Team Hulk that game, but immediately it frees up the fact that he also has the Bucky. He's not a one-trick, so he can actually hop back onto someone who I've heard a lot about, and he did not disappoint. Great Adam Warlock ult, to be fair, to counter out the 4K, but in the end of the day, that's just one play in a game where many need to be made, and it was just simple. They just rolled through ever since. Spooky being the solo tank, I get it. You're trying the Wolverine to kind of get into his head a little bit and maybe find a couple kidnaps. You can start to get rid of their tank, their solo tank, which would have been massive because then you're just left with squishies. But at the same time, in that triple support comp, they were able to sustain the Strange long enough to where the Wolverine, he just got outclassed.
Yeah, he was. He was a non-factor, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, right?
Surprising.
Absolutely. I mean, like, Wolverine is that sort of tank buster character and so good at even getting these supports in the back too, but just couldn't find anything as we take a look at the final stats here. Spectrum again taking home the most amount of kills for Team Moon Knight. That's a great word to say. I mean, absolutely disgusting 34 and 8. No assists though. Not really playing the team game there, but that's okay. Don't really need to. Hayes putting in a lot of work on Luna Snow, 23 assists, and Henzo, 25 of his own, doing a lot of work there. And Jeff Freak, I know we were talking about him a lot, 30 kills with Bucky, definitely didn't disappoint for playing there. But on the side of Team Hulk, it's not a good looking scoreboard here. Those numbers not very high. Sosa only managing to get 4 kills with Hella there. That really is a big DPS hole that needed to be filled if Hulk wanted to get just that extra bit of DPS and the ability to push. Without that DPS there and that damage there, just nothing really working for them. As we take a look, Spectrum, yes, he is the MVP, still at 90% vibes.
You gotta have it.
You gotta have those vibes, man, especially in a tournament like this. But Spectrum doing it all. I mean, we talk about Spooky and how good his Doctor Strange is. I think they should be co-MVP there. But Spectrum, again, leading the charge in terms of frags here. Just, like I said, doing it all himself.
Yeah, you know what? There's not really much of a better way to put it. Spectrum, it was just a game on his own, and honestly, you could make that statement about pretty much anyone on that roster. I mean, looking at the stats that we saw, right? The Hella going 4 and 10. I get it. You have a dive comp as well that you're trying to work into it, but it's simple. Your dive just wasn't finding the kills and the supports, whereas theirs was. It's simple as. That's just all that happened. The Hella wasn't able to do enough, and at the end of the day, there weren't very many counters to the dives either. So at the end of the day on attack, you're going to get rolled if that's the game plan heading into it. I really do respect the whole try on the Wolverine at last, but with 3 supports and none of them dying at all from your dive, it just didn't work out.
didn't work out, but we're going to get some more insight into how exactly Team Moon Knight was able to secure that victory. We are standing by. We have Spectrum on the interview. Spectrum, amazing game you had there. Kind of walk us through what you kind of game plan for playing Psylocke against a really strong team like Team Hulk.
Yeah, I just decided to flank their backline, and when their cap is diving into our front line, I just like peel for them, peel for our backline, so that our backline don't get disrupted by that much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My playstyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that something that was huge for you guys in this game was the Loki, being able to copy another support ult, obviously. Those two Lunas, we saw it happen all the time. It was able to really delay whenever their Psylocke ult would come through, whenever their DPS ults would come through. The Magneto ult sometimes would happen. And you guys always had that second added layer, running that triple support comp as well. When you have that Loki, that insurance of being able to pop another Sue Storm ult or another Luna ult, what does that do for you guys as DPS, and what does that do for Spooky as your tank? I gotta assume the confidence has got to be through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, we are running triple support because it's a current meta right now, and every pro team, like most pro team, like at the top tier runs it, like Loki, Luna, and then, I mean, CND or Sue.
Yeah.
Now, Spectrum, you guys are moving on to the finals. How confident are you guys that you can be the team that walks away with that prize? What's the vibes like? What's the confidence level like
Yeah,
right now?
we're pretty confident right now. I mean, we 3-0 them, 3-0 in the group stages. I mean, we're pretty confident right now.
Okay, one last question for you, Spectrum. On the graphic that we were showing for the MVP, both rounds, you were stuck at 90% vibes. What is it going to take for you to get to 100% vibes by the end of this tournament?
By winning the finals.
That's it.
Well said. Hey, that's all you need to say. Spectrum, thank you very much for being with us, and good luck in the finals.
Thank you.
Like we said, it very short and sweet, very simple. They know what their objective is, and they want it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Team Hulk, you know what? You banned the Spider-Man from Jeff. I don't know, man. I feel like, you know what? The problem is you weren't able to deal with the Psylocke as well. The Psylocke just got away for free, had everything. Spectrum had everything he wanted. He could do anything in those games that he desired. But the problem is I think it came down to too many strong elements on the team. You don't want to ban any of the supports, obviously, because you're focusing on two insanely talented DPS players, and you want to focus on the tank as well. You want to make Spooky get a little unconfident, but whatever you ban, whether it's the Mags or the Strange, he's just going to pick the other one. And again, it just seemed like there's too much versatility. It's pick your own poison. And Team Moon Knight, they showed that with that adaptability, with the fact that Spooky is good enough to sustain his team being the only tank having to run it, it really did show. I don't want to necessarily say a skill diff, but the just freedom that Team Moon Knight has to try out new things if they want, to try out that triple support, to try out bringing in the Loki and then having C&D on top of that. There's just so much there that they can work with, and I would not be surprised if we see them at the very end of this taking home that prize cash.
Absolutely, it is very possible, and it just shows how deep that squad is. You know, even when you have to plan around banning for certain characters, you know that other people on the team also have other tricks up their sleeve, right? So it shows just how deep that roster is and how well they're playing together as a team. But excellent work from Team Moon Knight. We're going to wait to see who they will be playing in the finals. We're going to be taking a quick break, and then right when we come back, we are going to be entering our second semifinals right before our grand final. So don't go anywhere. More Marvel Rivals coming up very soon.